Memorial Day doorbuster deals are here at Lowe's. Right now, Rewards members save $80 on the Master Forge 4-burner gas grill, now just $149. Plus, Rewards members save $900 on the Lowe's exclusive Hisense French door refrigerator, now only $999. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/26. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.
I'm Stone Cold Eva Erickson from Survivor 48, and Autism 316 says I just voted your ass out.
Yeah!
We can very well win this thing.
I'm a dog person now.
Line them up, let's knock them down.
If you told me your dog was sick, I'd say, I'm coming over.
I crack open a coconut and they didn't cheer for me.
You're either in Survivor or you're not.
It's not about the $1 million. All I want to do is win 1 million hearts.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not me. Good job, guys.
We got 2 moments?
That's right. We got 2 of them. Welcome to Making the Merge. I'm joined by Chase Bridges, Brandon Gray, and the new champions of Making the Merge and the winners of the season 48 Jody Newell Cup. It's time for a speech.
Speech.
Oh, it's me. That's right. I'm
It's
not
you.
used to winning. You know, gentlemen, I knew we had
What's
this
your
one
name?
in the bag. This is Jonathan Wright. I knew we had this in the bag. I felt so secure in the finale. Let me just tell you, the further we got into the finale, I'm going to be real with you. I almost kind of checked out mentally. I was so unstressed.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I was so not stressed about this because I was like, I feel like either way, I've got 2 people going in there. The odds are looking good. And, Tribal did get me really on edge, though. Those really did, and we'll talk about those. But, gentlemen, I'm glad to be joining the rankings. Bran, I'm sorry that it wasn't you in your first season, but, you're still wet behind the ears.
Oh. I got to be honest. I was with you until you used that phrase. I don't like that phrase.
Wet behind the ears?
Yeah,
what does that even mean?
Does
that mean he took a shower and he didn't dry?
Yeah, if my worst trait is that I know how to shower, then so be it. Call me wet ear Bran. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it is true. Jonathan was carried to his first ever Making the Merge victory.
Call
That
me
is your
Eva,
first win, man.
I was carried all the way to the finale. But this time I won.
It was exactly how we thought it was going to be, and you won with the exact person we all thought you were going to win with. So.
Jonathan, can I ask a question since Kristen isn't here? Maybe you can answer. So you, for the first time ever, you and Kristen were on the same team.
This is
so
true.
You guys worked together on your draft.
Yes.
And you guys drafted Joe, then Kyle, then Charity, then Cedric. Who, if you even remember, who was like, we should draft Joe first? Who made that decision? You or Kristen?
So we really did make our draft decisions. Like, we sat and we talked them out.
You prayed about it.
Yeah,
You fasted.
We fasted
war
a
room.
little bit. I went and talked with my reverend about it. I was just like, hey, is this a good decision? But it was, we really did sit down and talk, like, are these the best options? And it really wasn't difficult to line up kind of our rankings. What's funny is I think PD knew this. Camilla was like our number 1 at first, and Joe was our number 2 pick. The only rogue one that we went with was when I picked Charity just out of the blue. But like as far as picking Joe and Kyle, we were like on the same page. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a congratulations. Jonathan gets his first win. Kristen gets her second, tying her with PD for most draft wins.
It's true. It's upsetting.
Do you want to know what stings about this?
What's that?
Is I said, hey, Kristen, I'll be on your team. Like, if she just accepted my offer, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have gotten your win your first
season. I know, because we all know that it was Kristen.
Yeah, of course.
Look, guys, can we just talk about the Patreon chat for one moment here?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I, first of all, was laughing hysterically at the fact that as soon as the win happened, everyone in the Patreon immediately dogpiled on congratulating Kristen and pretending like I didn't exist in the chat.
Because they listen, they know.
I
They know
was
what's up.
I was crying laughing on the couch. Like it made my night that I was like, hey guys, I won too, and they're like, hey, congrats, Kristen. You know, it was so
Well, I mean,
good.
guys, and I wish Kristen was here to hear us say this, but Kristen, notorious for being a phenomenal drafter.
She's a good pick, man. I don't know if maybe it's like the psychology degree happening or something.
The only bad pick she's ever made is who she married.
I knew it was coming.
Let's jump into this finale. It's a long one, and we've got a limited amount of time. PD, set us up.
Actually, what if we didn't? What if we had Bran read Banu Part 3?
Yeah,
I forgot. Right away.
Right away.
I do want to just quickly shout out to the I'm going to call them the little mergers. That's what I'm calling the Patreon little mergers.
Yeah.
They made this season so much fun.
Yeah, they did.
My goodness.
Oh, and if we get
awesome.
6 more, Chase has to drop his song about Mitch that he desperately does not want to drop.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, this is long. Apparently I have 3 minutes worth here.
Well, you can do one at a time.
All right,
We can
how
just
about
get to the rest
I'll
later.
do one. I'll
Yeah.
do one now because I know people are dying to hear our thoughts on the finale. I'm not trying to be sketchy, but I'm always looking for an idol. It's extremely stressful because I don't want to be caught, and I've been looking high and low everywhere. It's super hard. Why do they make it look like it's so easy? Everyone's searching for an idol, but I don't want anyone to find an idol before me. Calm yourself down and think, I'm gonna find that guy. I'm gonna find that idol. No one wants to be the first person to walk away from Survivor, but this is a game. This is a serious business. Someone has to go. I think Jelinski and Jess are the targets, but this is Survivor. Anything could happen. The game is on 24/7. It's so hard.
You know what's so weird about hearing these is I'm like, this shows how burned into my memory everything that man said is, because I feel
can
like
hear him saying it
hear
as
it.
Brad is saying it.
I can hear it, but I know that it's like I'm remembering it. You know, it's either that or Bran is just channeling it.
You can picture Banu on the beach.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
I
see
can
Banu,
sense
baby.
him.
And that's the only reason I'm not doing an accent. It's for no other reason. I knew that I didn't have to do much. People would be able to hear it and fill in the blanks.
I'm sure that's the only reason.
That's the only
No,
reason.
me and Chase talked about it that we're happy that we lost because I don't know if I'd be able to quote Banu for that long and not do his voice.
I know. It's hard. It's hard, guys.
All right, shall we begin?
Yeah.
Let's begin our final recap of season 48, and there's no better way to start than a slow walk Jeff speech, baby. Woo! Jeff says there's always a reckoning on Survivor. It was inevitable that there will be blood, and there will be more blood tonight because there has to be. And it will be personal because it is. So, let's go. Season 48 finale, there will be blood.
Nice.
It was a lot.
Look what they did to my
was a
boy.
lot.
Am I right, fellas?
I
You
thought
know,
it was very
that
funny
movie?
that kind of subtly throughout the entire finale, he kept making like little comments like, this has been one of my favorite seasons. What a great season. It was like he was trying to convince us
himself.
that we weren't
Well, he said it in the press, too. Jeff loves this season.
He said it in On Fire.
pre-merges
He
phenomenal.
said this is one of
Yeah.
his favorite seasons of all time.
I think the cast was super memorable, and everybody in the cast, you kind of like. Even people sitting like at the end, I was like, I like all three of these people.
Did you like the shot? The single shot?
of Jeff.
Yeah, we really got to see the domes.
I liked
Ooh,
everything
yeah.
about it aside from what he said.
Yeah, what, a
I
whole lot
thought
of
what he
nothing.
said was really aggressive and unnecessary. Like,
I felt
guys,
like it was like nothing. I read the second part of that, PD, though. I do want to hear it one more time because it felt like saying
Okay,
the same
sure.
thing 3 times.
Jeff says there will always be a reckoning on Survivor.
Yeah.
It was inevitable. There will be blood. And there will be more blood tonight because there has to be, and it will be personal because it is.
That's what I'm saying. That's like,
Do you think that they script that, or do you think they just let him
no
go?
way.
dude,
no-
he's notorious for being like, no one scripts anything for me and no one says anything in my ear.
man.
I think he
Dude.
just freeballed that one.
I when I heard it just now, I was like, it's definitely the same concept 5 times.
Yeah.
You know, there will be blood because there has been blood.
Yeah.
And there will be a
And there will
reckoning
be more.
because there has
And
been.
it's personal because it is.
Yeah.
I love Jeff, the father the Son, and the holy probes.
Amen.
I keep forgetting to say. Also, Kristen texted me right now, guys, and said, make sure to bask in the glory of us winning. So I just figured I would say we are basking in it. Kristen's basking in it in the other room, though. So,
okay.
Wow.
All right, so let's good for you.
Is she gonna tag in at some point?
she's going to try. She's going to try. Okay. Yeah.
All right, well, let's start with Joe talking to Stone Cold Eva Erickson.
Oh, wait, hold on.
It's there somewhere.
And Joe says to Stone Cold, did we both get duped by somebody that was working us?
What? Were they shooting or working, brother?
And then we cut to Camilla and Kyle, where Camilla says, oh my God, how the hell did that work out? I can't believe he didn't go fact check with Shaheen because that's what he should have done. And then in a confessional, she says, I didn't realize how good I am at lying because this is my first time lying to people straight to their face to get them to believe me. And every time it works. Joe believed my lies, Eva believed my lies, and at tribal council, Shaheen didn't feel scared at all. So I think I deserve an Emmy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
And for your consideration, you can vote for Camilla to win an Emmy.
Yeah.
For your consideration.
I do think that she was, again, the person that actually made that plan work because of how good her lying was.
Yeah, 100%.
Kyle's was not convincing enough. That's why immediately Joe went to her because he didn't believe him, and she was the final one to commit. But maybe it's because of the fact that she hadn't lied the whole game. So why would she be lying then?
For sure.
What if the For Your Consideration commercial was just all Camilla?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All of her lines, all of her talking about running people over with a bus. That's all it is.
Yeah.
For your consideration, it's day 24.
Yep.
The sun is coming up, and Joe is proud. He's proud for dads. He's proud for older dudes. He's proud. And then everyone walks up and sees their name on a podium, and everybody has their own puzzle lock. An advantage is up for grabs for the person who can unlock the key using the clues around camp, which is once again animals. But what was different about the animals this time, Bran?
The dots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not colorful animals. They're animals with dots.
Dots.
It's like zebras, but with dots
But with
instead
dots.
of stripes.
Yeah, you could have also said like a leopard or something too.
Yeah,
It's like could
A
have.
zebra with dots.
Or a Dalmatian.
a cheetah.
Yeah. Does Fiji have zebras with dots when it doesn't get night? All right. Everybody sprints off, and Camilla thinks she understands it. And Mitch says things are going to get messy and hearts are going to get broken. So he needs this. And spoiler alert, Mitch doesn't get it. But Kyle thinks he has it with the word rescue. And he was wrong. And unfortunately for him, Stone Cold Eva Erickson.
Dude.
Stone Cold Eva Erickson. She grew up playing Scrabble with her mom, and she came up with secure and thought that's definitely a survivor word, and it was a survivor word. And Eva has another advantage because Autism 316 says I just solved a puzzle on your ass. How did y'all feel when this happened?
I was
Hilarious.
honestly impressed.
I was laughing so hard.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
There's not a single advantage this whole season that Eva has not won.
Literally, as soon as she won it, I out loud said, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Because I was both equally upset that one of my people didn't win it, but I was also like, you can't hate her for it. She is just killing it with getting
At this point,
things.
it's not luck.
No,
if you do it
she's just
every
straight up
time,
doing it.
it's not luck.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if I didn't enjoy this particular challenge because I thought it was dumb at this point in the game, or because I knew for a fact Eva was going to win it. But I've seen the show. I've seen this
where's
season.
the risk?
I know how this is going to go.
They should have got that girl from last season that loves doing Easter egg hunts.
So now it's everybody's favorite part, and it is my favorite part of the episode this time. I really mean that. It's challenge time with Chase.
It's everybody's favorite part of the episode. It's the first challenge of the episode, challenge number 1. Guys, for this challenge, we're racing up and over a steep ramp.
Yeah.
We're crawling through a tangled up muddy net. We're throwing a ball through a target.
Get it.
We're maneuvering that ball through a long cage. Once the ball is free, you toss it in a basket. It gives you 3 numbers. You use the 3 numbers to retrieve a key. Then you race up another steep ramp and you solve a survivor fire puzzle.
Woo! Shout out to Rome.
Yes.
Shout out.
The winner gets immunity, obviously, which means that they cannot be voted out this season because worst case, they lose fire making and go home that way. They also will get to go to the sanctuary with one other person for
What
pasta.
happens there?
The sanctuary where good things happen.
Thank you. Put some respect on it.
The story of this challenge, it's all about Camilla. No one even matters in this challenge other than Camilla. We see Camilla get stuck in the net. She twists the wrong way and gets even more stuck. Everyone else is almost to the puzzle, and Camilla is barely able to get out of the net. It looks extremely claustrophobic and scary, by the way.
Yeah,
Like it looked like you're kind of getting waterboarded in there.
Hate watching that. Every time that they do the net in mud, I feel like I can barely watch it. And I'm not even a claustrophobic type person.
You're just afraid of the ocean. And
Well, yeah, and it's just close enough
Vastness.
to water,
you have the opposite of claustrophobia. You don't like wide open spaces.
Yeah, I'm like, could someone just put me in the smallest possible place? That's what I keep saying.
I was like, please put me in a box.
Yeah,
That's where I thrive.
Jonathan's in the shallow end of the ocean. He's like, God, what I wouldn't give to be in an elevator
I'm
right
like,
now.
I need someone to put baby in a corner. That's what I keep telling them. So.
I love when Camilla was like, what am I doing wrong? And Jeff was like, you have to turn your body and twist.
He's like, twist. She does manage to get out of the net. Everyone else moves. They're on the puzzle. They have a huge head start on her.
Joe got there before everybody else, and I think that's important to point
Mitch
out.
was winning. That's how far back Camilla was.
At this point in the episode, I was like, oh, this is my funeral. Like, my game dies here.
Well, as soon as I saw Joe starting to solve the puzzle, I was like, this is my funeral. That's how I felt.
Dude, he sucks at puzzles.
Yeah,
but
it's bad.
basically, everyone is on the puzzle. They have a huge head start on her. She's still trying to get the ball into the cage. Finally, she granny shots it in. Funnily enough, Mitch is actually in the lead for most of this challenge.
Yeah.
I know. I was shocked.
It was his time to make a move.
Yeah, it really was. Eva, who had an advantage, as we just talked about, Mitch was still leading the pack, even though she had an advantage. That's how good he was doing. I was watching that, and I was like, Mitch is going to win the game, baby.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that I want to put it on the record. If I am ever in this situation where I get an advantage and the advantage is that I can dunk the ball, you better believe I'm doing some dunk contest stuff out there.
Yeah.
I'm going between the legs. I'm getting some
360.
style points. I know it's not important, but I just want it on the record in case it ever happens and we can pull this back.
Yeah, write that down. Someone write that down.
I got it.
Everyone's working on the puzzle now. Camilla finally shows up after everyone else has a huge lead. But what's that?
What?
Camilla starts flying through the puzzle. Next thing you know, she's in the lead, and it's not even close. Mitch practically gives up. Eva is fighting hard. Joe, he's trying, but he's in last place on the puzzle. And boom, Camilla wins the challenge.
That's
Unreal.
right. I jumped up off the couch. My dad laughed at me because I jumped up and I screamed touchdown. And I wasn't watching football, but that's what I felt like screaming. So
I do want to know what your dad thought of it when she won.
he was cheering too because
He just wants to see his boy win,
yeah,
baby.
he knew
That's
that
right.
I was all in on Camilla for this episode.
That's right.
I mean, I love Stone Cold Eva Austin, but for the beginning of this episode, I wasn't even. No, but for the beginning of this episode, I was dead set on Camilla winning, and then this happened, and I was like, this is everything I
destiny.
wanted.
Yeah.
This is like the exact thing I needed in order to be able to win.
And in that moment, I'm seeing Camilla win, and Kristen and I are looking at each other thinking, we had her number one as our pick. Because there was definitely, I'm sitting there thinking, like, she's going to win the game if she makes it to the finale.
And when they didn't have a single piece of the puzzle, and then she was making her way up the ladder, I was like, oh, it's still even. The challenge basically just started.
Joe was nowhere to be found in this.
Yeah.
Once it got to the puzzle, he couldn't do anything.
And that's okay. He's won
this
a lot
was-
of challenges.
This was his mud net,
Yeah.
and listen, any challenge that doesn't involve some sort of puzzle, he can crush.
Yeah.
Dude can't do puzzles.
Yeah, that's okay.
Poor
I don't know if
guy.
I would do good at it either. I'm a little wet behind the ears. Am I right?
Hey, brother, that's
whoa,
me. I'm the only wet-eared boy here.
Anyway, so Camilla wins. Jeff puts the necklace on her. We hear once again about her family that didn't believe in her.
Gosh, man, can you imagine
they were
being
rough.
them watching this at home?
It keeps getting brought up.
Well, they
too.
shouldn't have said all that.
They
That's
shouldn't have said
true.
And-
It's time.
Well, I was going to say, when she was talking about her family, though, she mentioned something I hadn't even noticed, which was she never had her name written down.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Dang.
She said it very in like a passing statement. Like, not only have I never had my name written down, but I will never have my name written down.
Wow.
Yeah, but then she said, except for when people vote for me at the end. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly what's going to happen.
But what a crazy thing for her to be able to say is like, name never written down.
That is sick. Yeah.
That is awesome. It's time for her to go to the sanctuary, but she has to pick one person to go with her
Oh, my word.
to the place where good things happen. And she says, you know what? I'm going to choose someone who's very hungry. And she knows that she really needs this. And she's smiling because she knows I'm talking about her.
Yep.
Eva, once again, gets chosen for the reward.
Yeah. She literally walked in and said, someone throw me a beer. And they did.
Eva said, I need 1 rewards. What? I need 2 rewards. What? I need 3 rewards. What? I need a sanctuary and a sweet tea.
I loved this finale, partially because of the uncertainty, but then the other part of why I loved it was because of these 2 hilarious Eva moments. One, where she wins the advantage and everybody's like, not again. And then 2, when she gets picked for the reward and everybody's like, not again.
Dude, I had the same reaction to her getting the advantage and getting to the sanctuary. Both times I just kind of shook my head and smiled. It was not even like disappointment. It wasn't upset. I was just like, there she goes. She's made it again.
Listen, she's hungry.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? At the end of the day, we can laugh about it. I think it was a strategic move from Camilla. I think it was a good one. I think she wanted to be in Eva's good graces in case Eva won the next one.
Yep.
And she would try to convince her, like, hey, don't send me to fire. I took you on the reward.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we're about to talk about where good things happen, but we get back to the beach and Mitch starts roasting Kyle for not being able to get up the wall and breaking the vase. It kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, but Mitch is just getting his shots in.
Yeah.
That was wild.
And then Kyle said, I'm voting for you.
And
he did.
Well, well, he said it as a joke that time.
Yeah. It was funny to me to hear them roasting each other, and then I was like, these roasts are kind of just them saying what's happening. They're like, you have mud on your face. There's a lot of mud on your face. Am I right, guys? And then they went and got in the water, and Joe said it was like a kiddie pool.
Mitch told him, you have mud like last time that you had mud.
Yeah, it's not even a roast.
And you're a little wet behind the ears.
Yeah.
But, but then, like Jonathan said, they did go get wet in the kiddie pool. They washed the mud off of them. And I feel like the TikTok Stan editors are going to have a field day with that Joe in his underwear and washing the mud off of him footage.
Hey.
Remember the good old days where the men could get naked? You know what I mean? Remember the good old days of Survivor?
Hey, man, I'd set fire to my house if I knew Joe was showing up
I'm
to
about
put
to
it
take
out.
my shirt off right now.
Woo, Jonathan, put that away.
Okay, it's back on.
It was a bit of a, like, I don't know. I've always thought, like, Fiji's so beautiful and where they are is amazing and they got these great sunsets. But then you see when it's, like, low tide and you're like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like,
I've been to Myrtle Beach.
Right? Why are there so many weeds?
You're like,
What's going on?
You're like, is there a
legal
Burt
there.
surf shop nearby?
Yeah,
you
bro.
know, it's like, what is going on?
Yeah, so now let's go to the sanctuary where great things are happening, and great things are happening because it's the Team PD sanctuary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Eva and
You
Camilla.
were flying high, brother.
I really was flying high. Flying
High.
Sliding
I
in
was-
the
I done
sky.
flew in high.
I done flew too high, and I went crashing down later. Yeah, just like that boy Shaheen. But Eva told Camilla, I can't believe your parents said you wouldn't do well.
I like how it just keeps getting brought up.
As a dad, I can imagine like watching this, and the first time you hear that you've, put a lot of doubt in your child, you're like, oh, that's a bummer. And then
whoops.
she keeps bringing it up, and you just like get lower and lower in your seat.
And then her friends start bringing it up.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Probst starts bringing it up.
I want to add a little insult to injury. In one of her exit interviews, she said that it wasn't just the doubt; it was her parents also looked at her brother and said, you should sign up for Survivor.
No
but they didn't
way.
say it to her.
No way, dude.
My God.
Camilla's parents, the ops? Question mark?
Yeah, so
That's the title of this episode.
I was riding high, I was flying high, whatever I had said
You were
earlier.
flying, brother.
Especially when Camilla said no one's written my name and no one will be able to until Final Tribal, because that was with the prophecy that I thought was going to be fulfilled. But then the other person on this reward, Stone Cold Eva Erickson. Stone Cold Eva Erickson says, this vote is easy. It's Mitch. I'm not at risk. I'm playing my idol. It's the last day to use this thing.
Oh, man. Yeah. Poor
Dang,
Mitch.
dude. This was one of the most pitiful first vote outs of a finale.
When she says that, I'm like, of course she's going to say that.
Oh,
Eva's not going to bring up Joe. But listen, this is easy, right? Camilla's going to go back and go to Kyle and be like, hey, this is our chance to get Joe. It's easy because Mitch, I don't know if you've heard, is ready to make a GD
big move.
A big move.
This is the time. And Camilla goes back and says, I think we should do Mitch tonight. And I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. Although I could equal parts believe and not believe because it's just kind of how the season has gone.
Yeah.
But after the Shaheen move,
man.
I felt like we were moving
They ran out of
towards-
gas, you know?
It would have been true vindication for Mitch
Yeah.
if he pulled off a big move in the finale and made it to the final three. Because he'd been like, see, guys, I was waiting for the perfect time. But no, it's exactly like the consequences of his own actions from a few weeks ago is what sent him home.
It was really sad, guys. Like, that whole lead up to Tribal just made me feel depressed.
Yeah.
Because once they're back on the beach, Camilla said to Kyle that after the massive move with all the lying, I'm not concerned about Joe and Eva.
Yeah.
So that was the reasoning. She's like, Mitch is a jury vote for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everyone walks up to Mitch and is like, you're gone.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude.
Hey, well, let me ask you guys, what would you rather have happen? Would you rather be blindsided or would you rather be told that you're getting
I want to be
Blindsided.
blindsided.
100%.
I don't want the
don't
feeling
know.
of hopelessness.
Because then Mitch is just sitting there at Tribal just crying.
Yeah. He's like,
Well,
there's nothing he can do.
It's a real buzzkill.
Hey, you know what he
it
could have
is.
gone and done? Find the idol.
Yeah.
well, I think.
They
dude,
promised they weren't going to do that this season.
I think if I'm being real, I wouldn't mind knowing ahead of Tribal.
You would.
I don't think I would mind because in my mindset, I'd be like upset, but at the same time, I'd be like, all right, let me just like take it all in right now. Let me look at this campsite. Let me look at the beach that looks like Myrtle Beach. Let me keep living my life.
Thanks for sharing that, though, Jonathan. So that makes it easy for us. So you're actually not going to be on the podcast next season.
Yeah.
We wanted to go ahead and get ahead of this.
Guys,
and let you
this
know.
whole week, Jonathan we've threatened to fire him so much.
We got a robot saying that he should be fired.
I know his hands were shaking when he texted that he was going to be late today.
I didn't even text y'all that I was going to be late. It was Kristen. I said, Kristen, I can't do this. That's what I said.
I'm too scared. Dropped my phone 3 times.
I was like, Kristen, I think I can't make it happen. You've got to say something. No, I would rather know ahead of time than get blindsided.
All right, keep that in mind, guys.
Okay.
It's good to
Keep
know.
it in mind.
Let's go to Tribal. We all know what's going to happen. And it didn't take too long to get down to business. They all told Jeff they're voting for Mitch, although Joe said he was trying to show the most respect he can to a human. And then Mitch says, it's heartbreaking, it sucks, but I get it. It's a game for $1 million, and they have to do what is the best move for them, and I don't have any regrets, and that's enough.
You don't have any regrets, Mitch?
And I was wondering, are they going to Banu him?
Dude, I think everybody thought that. They're like, oh, they're not even going to vote. They're just going to say, all right, Mitch, go home.
Get up and go, Mitch.
I'm a little surprised that they took a vote.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm glad they did, because when Mitch wrote Kyle and they read it, they all laughed about it.
Yeah, they're like, that's adorable,
Well,
Man.
Mitch got his torch snuffed, and with that, Chase has been eliminated from the Jody Newell Survivor Draft.
Yeah.
It's a good season, brother.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with this position. I'm used to not
come on
making
in,
to the
man.
final 3.
The water's
Yeah.
fine. It's low tide.
Oh, it's the beach in Myrtle Beach water.
That's right. So we've got our final 4. It's Eva, Joe, Camilla, and Kyle. Everybody's hugging back at the beach. They're all so happy that they made it. And we get to day 25. And this is where we get a conversation with Camilla and Kyle where they mutually agree to send the other person to fire because the jury votes would be split And Eva and Joe are the exact opposite. They're like ride or die for each other. They're not going to send each other to fire.
This is the only bad move Camilla made all season.
I agree.
Do you think so? I think
this is the reason she didn't win.
But Kyle won. This wasn't a decision she made.
Here's
think
the thing.
Kyle,
Well, no,
out of
it is.
respect, would have taken
She's
her.
the one that brought it up to Kyle. She walked up to Kyle and she said, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
if I win, I'm not taking you."
Yeah.
And he even kind of seemed like surprised. He seemed
I don't know.
understanding, but he kind of seemed surprised.
Well,
I thought it
think
was mutual.
He was
It was
surprised.
after she brought it up. But here's what I think would have happened. If Kyle won and Camilla hadn't have done that, I think Camilla might, he would have felt guilty.
Yeah,
if
he would have
didn't.
felt guilty in taking her. I think,
But
that
it
they
has
would
that
have sent
connection to Joe that he would have felt so guilty about because he loves Joe.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have felt like he almost put Joe in instead of Eva when Eva started having a hard time. So I don't think he would have.
I really I know that feels like the biggest mistake she made all season for sure. Because again, like you're saying, Chase, where her and Kyle were talking and she brings it up, he's like not shocked, but at the same time he's like, yeah, I was kind of thinking it. That was what he said.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, yeah, that was what I was going to do. He was like, yeah, I was kind of thinking about it too. And this conversation pushed him over the edge to be like, that's what we should do. But I completely think that if that conversation hadn't happened, he would have put Joe and Eva making fire.
At the very least, it's fair to say that just because Kyle is thinking about something doesn't mean he's actually going to do it.
Yeah.
One thing that we that's the truth. So even if he's thinking, having Camilla next to me makes it really hard for either of us to make an argument, he would still have to make that decision. He would still have to be the one to bring it up to Camilla. And he just hasn't been the guy who's pleased having hard conversations.
No.
Maybe we can ask Kyle what he would have done if Camilla hadn't done that when he comes on the show in a few months.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
No,
it's
it's
not like
good.
we've not agreed to anything.
Throw it into the
We've
universe
signed
and
him
see
to a
what
contract.
happens.
He's taking Jonathan's spot on the show.
Yeah.
Hey, I get it, guys.
Now it's time for everybody's least favorite part of the episode, the second immunity challenge.
Is this just because of what happens?
No, it's everybody's least favorite.
Because I'm the one talking about it?
No,
Is
because
it
what
'cause of
happened?
What were you going to say, Brand?
I thought he was going to say because he doesn't like this challenge.
Oh, I love this challenge.
I love this challenge.
Actually.
I saw some people. I saw some little mergies. What did we call them?
Little mergers.
Little mergers.
We call them little mergies.
I call them the little mergies. Some people were saying that they don't like the what's it called? Smirnoff? What's it called?
Smirnoff.
Oh, Kristen.
Samotion.
Kristen's here just in time for Samotion.
Samotion. Some people don't like the Samotion, and I love Samotion. I was excited, and then I saw some people being like, I don't like Samotion, and it made me second guess everything I thought I knew.
No, you're right. It's
Okay,
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a
Kristen,
big Samotion.
Since Kristen just showed up, maybe Kristen wants to gloat a little bit before we
here
jump
we
into this
go.
challenge.
There it is. Oh, sit down. Sit down, everyone.
Thank
It's
you.
a live studio audience
No,
for the
really, it's too
finale.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, he's not a winner, so he doesn't know how to gloat as I do. But,
We're on the same side, Kristen.
I had no doubt that we were winning, especially once we got to the final five. I was like, for sure it's going to be Joe or Kyle.
Now, Kristen, can you please back up the fact that we both really agreed that we thought Joe and Kyle were draft picks for us?
I remember wanting to draft Kyle before Joe.
Oh,
and
no.
Jonathan
That's
picked
enough, Kristen.
Joe.
Well,
I do remember a bit of an argument happening on the
Maybe.
draft episode. I'd like to go back and listen to it because I do think there was some sort of argument that took place about the order of Kyle
and
or
guys,
something.
we'll actually go really in detail with the draft recap episode. So make sure you're still listening to us, even though this was the finale.
Nice.
We've got more episodes coming in the next couple weeks.
That
more
was
episodes.
smooth, Chase. I love that.
That was really good.
Thanks. All right, baby. It's everybody's favorite part of the episode.
No, it's not.
Second part. Second favorite.
It's Samotion time, baby. We've got Camilla versus Joe versus Eva versus Kyle. You've got one hand behind your back. On go, you drop a ball down the chute. It's going to spiral to the bottom where you catch it and put it back in. At regular intervals, you will add more and more balls until you've got too many balls to handle. If at any point a ball drops, you are out. Everyone makes it to 3 balls until finally Eva drops one. She's the first one out.
Yeah.
Funniest part of this challenge, Eva is sitting there crying. That's not funny. The funny part is Jeff keeps making her feel worse.
Yeah, he would
Like
not
he kept
let
saying
up on
stuff
it.
like, Eva has lost the ability to control her destiny in this game. And she does not get to choose who goes to fire.
I bet she feels like a real loser right now.
Yeah. You can tell that because this challenge goes so quickly, Jeff is just like spewing, like he doesn't
Whatever comes to
stop.
mind,
And so
yeah.
he's just flow state.
I
Anything that
love
pops into his head,
Samotion,
he's
though.
saying.
I really do love Samotion.
Me too.
I do
Like,
too.
it's just, it feels like a perfect challenge for a level playing field.
Oh, and that shot that they did where they just went across and showed all the balls moving.
Yeah, sick.
Beautiful.
What Jonathan's saying, I like it because you can be strong, you can be smart. It doesn't matter. It's whoever's focused.
Yeah, left, right, left, right,
And
left, right.
agile. Okay, guys. Kyle, Camilla, and Joe keep going until we've got 4 balls. Okay? The record is 5 balls.
Yeah.
We don't quite get there because Camilla drops.
And Phoebe's hopes and dreams were dashed.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
They weren't actually, but they will be soon.
It's Kyle versus Joe once again this season, battling it out for the win. And just a few minutes later, Joe drops. Kyle is the winner of the final immunity challenge. He's going to be in the final 3 no matter what.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Shout out to Kyle.
Once again,
This is when you knew you were screwed, Red PD.
No, because there's still fire. So I was like, I'm not dead until I am.
Yeah.
Which will be coming soon.
Once again, though, this is when I told them earlier, Kristen, that I felt like I felt so comfortable that I checked out mentally a little bit while watching the finale. And this just kind of solidified it. I felt really great.
Well, good for you. I didn't check out at all. I was stressed and then I was sad. And then
I
it
didn't feel
didn't end
stressed,
until
like,
the
one
next day.
time.
Yeah, we didn't feel
I
stressed. You
didn't
hear
feel
us?
stressed the whole episode.
We
All
didn't
right.
feel stressed.
The throne of ease. Team right.
Yeah. Yeah. Team Right's feeling, I don't know if you heard this, but we're not stressed.
All right, you want to keep going with this? So we get back to the stupid milk beach. All right, it's not stupid. I'm just upset. Kyle,
It's all right, man. Hey, it's cool.
How about I do this? How about I read
Let it
Bono?
out.
you want
How
to do
about
part 2
how
of
about
Bono to try to cheer me up? a
Yeah, I
little bit?
think this will
Oh,
do it.
yeah,
for
let's
us.
do that.
This
Okay,
will calm you
okay.
down
For
and
a
then we
few
can-
minutes, and then I'll get
Yes.
upset again, probably.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm so torn. I like Jelinski. I like that kid. Banu feeds Jelinski's coconut out of his hand.
Read that one more time.
Banu feeds Jelinski coconut out of his hand.
I like the first version.
Did he feed?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's why I put it in brackets.
Sorry. Yes, thank you. I apologize for making it not right. And I really like Jess. She's the one who's consoling me. But I'm going to suck up my emotions, drain my tears. Just put a name on the parchment tonight and be at peace with it. The first tribal council gives you a perspective like on
This is going to be the first tribal.
Dude, I thought it was going to be like 5 episodes in.
like of you know who is on your side. We all came to an agreement and we all voted to eliminate Jelinski out of the picture.
This is only the first boot of the season.
Shanti, Shanti. Even though we all were the same way, I'm getting nervous. I'm getting paranoid. And I feel like most of my tribe members, they're very strategic, and I feel like I have to be very careful with them.
Oh, man.
when do we get him cursing God? How far is that?
It's not coming today. We still haven't gotten to cursing God.
Oh,
Did that
God.
cheer
But
you
yeah,
up?
that did cheer me up. So that was part number 4 that Bran just read. And then he's almost halfway through.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys watch next week or listen.
All right, back at the Milk Beach, Kyle keeps his promise. He picks Joe to go to the end of the game, and it's Team PD facing off in fire. Camilla and Eva. Kyle tells Eva this, and she's crushed. But she said she's going to go in and build a killer fire. So Camilla and Eva go to practice, and tell me about how practice went for both of them, Bran.
It was two different experiences, but similar rides at the very least. We have Eva, who goes off by herself, which was surprising to me at first. I kind of anticipated that Joe would be with her the entire time, but Joe was just laying down. And Eva's over there and she's trying to make her fire and she's struggling, and you can see her getting frustrated and then more frustrated and even more frustrated until she begins to cry. And not just tears like at the end of the challenge where she's over there and she's just like got tears coming down her eye. This was loud crying. So loud.
Like panic.
So loud that like she's like, what am I doing wrong? So loud, in fact, that Joe and Kyle, who are back at camp chilling out, and I don't know how far away she was, but they hear her and Joe's like, I'm going to go check on her. To which Kyle is like, hey, man, make sure when you talk to her, you like, look at her and like tell her how she can do it. And Joe's like, okay, you held me up like 10 seconds, but yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
Because Kyle is like, I really don't want you in the fire.
Yes.
I was taking that as Kyle being like, look at her, like, if she's not okay, tell me, and then I'm going to throw myself to the wolves.
Oh,
that's how I took it, too.
Okay, that makes so much more sense than what he actually said.
Thought he gave
which was like, hey, when you look at her, like, talk to her. You know what I mean? Like,
I really
make eye contact.
Brandon, you and I were on the same page.
That makes a lot more sense. And it tracks with kind of what he like says later in his confessional about what he was considering. But so Joe goes up to her and gives her a hug, does the squeezing exercise that they talked about earlier in the season, and that calmed her down. And then he was able to give her some feedback, show her some things, and right away she is crushing it. She makes a great fire. Yeah. And I said in the chat, this is the only time I think in the history that a firefighter has encouraged someone to make a giant bonfire in the middle of the forest. I'm sure he was conflicted. But then you have Camilla, who is also struggling, and she's kind of off on her own. No one goes to check on her. But slowly over time, she begins to try some different things, and she's finally able to make some fire. And I think for me, and I don't know if you guys were feeling the same way, I was very confident in Camilla's ability to be cool under pressure.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how Eva was going to handle the spotlight truly being on her, knowing what happened earlier in the day and how she kind of had an episode when she wasn't able to make fire.
Especially with the development of her practicing with coconut husks and coconuts.
Right.
Yeah.
And not to jump too far ahead, but it's, in fire making, it is just a basket of twigs and branches and,
Which I don't know. Have there ever been coconut husks?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there have.
Really?
Yes,
I do think they make some changes depending on the season. But
Jonathan, you've seen like 5 seasons.
Yeah, Jonathan.
I've seen more than
Why did
5
you even
seasons.
voice
I've
your
seen
opinion?
At least 6.
Yeah, Jonathan, you didn't win. Your wife did.
Yeah. Loser.
Wait a second. Why'd I agree with you? Anyway.
I think the biggest thing about this scene is a lot of people started panicking if you were rooting for Joe and Kyle, because both of them were like, I'm putting myself in the fire.
And I was hoping that was going to happen.
That's right.
Dude,
so two things happen. One, before he teaches her or gives her some tips about making fire, he's like, Joe is like, let me do this for you. And to which she was adamant, no, like, I'm doing this, which good on her. And then we get a confessional from Kyle, which is like, he wasn't like super clear, but he was kind of alluding to the fact that he's considering
putting himself.
He said, I might just do it myself.
Right, which seemed like it was on the table, at least until,
Which
he
then
actually
That made me so mad.
I retract my earlier statement that I was not stressed at all, because this was my one moment of stress in the episode.
Until he said the names, I'm sure there was a little bit of like
relief.
Well, he said it, and then it kind of seemed like Eva was very determined to do it.
Yeah.
So then at that point, I was like, okay, I'm not stressed anymore.
Yeah, both of the rights have done this, where it's like, I was so calm, didn't feel any stress at all. And it's like, oh wait, no, I was stressed this one time.
Now.
If like 20 seconds out of the whole 2 hours.
That'll take us right into our next challenge time with Chase, but this time it's a fire making challenge.
Wow.
Everybody's second favorite part of the episode.
Is it?
It's devolved. My little bit is I'm just Adam Sandler now. Everybody's favorite part of the episode. Chalamet. The fire maker challenge.
So are we ready to talk about fire making?
Oh, fire maker. Okay, 2 of them get up. That is Eva. vodka to his cup.
Oh my.
Tito's into his mug.
Petey brought in a tiny bottle of vodka.
I needed something to help me get through this.
He's got orange juice.
I love the fact that even though this is an audio medium,
He's doing a
Petey
visual
thought of a bit
Yeah.
that really works for the people in the room. By the way, can I have some of that?
I was about to say you didn't bring enough for the
mean-
class.
Let's pass it around. We're doing fine.
Put a little more orange juice in there for you, but
Yeah, I was going to say, you put barely.
No, you don't have to put more in for me.
Guys,
Let's have some fun, brother.
Guys, fire making challenge.
And by the way, just to paint the full picture, because again,
It's
audio,
in a Mary mug.
It's the Mother Mary mug.
It's Mother Mary mug.
That's right.
It's Tropicana orange juice that he probably got at a gas station, I'm assuming.
do you want some?
It has some pulp. I've never had a twister with some pulp. That's insane, dude.
Yeah. It's healthy,
You're drinking
right?
vodka orange juice with some pulp.
Brand just had a sip of my.
The pulp. I gotta be honest. Before I took the sip, I kind of stopped listening. I missed the pulp part. I missed that there was pulp.
Some
So I
pulp.
won't be. I won't be
Yeah,
taking
you
it
thought
under
I was just gonna raw dog this episode after the emotional toll I went through?
He had to
Oh
have
man,
pulp.
that's so funny,
Can you
dude.
point me in the direction of the some pulp orange juice, please? I've got an important bit to do.
I've got a podcast, an audio only podcast I got to get to. Okay,
It's
guys.
gonna crush, and it did.
So it's Eva and Camilla are doing fire. Two of them get up and they get to choose which fire making station they go to, blue or purple. Eva says you can have purple and takes the blue seat. Now this caused a stir on Survivor Twitter where people were saying that it was rigged for Eva and that's why she was making sure to get the blue. It's toxic. It's disgusting. It's Survivor Twitter.
Guys, you know I haven't been on Twitter in a while. And it's good to see that nothing's changed.
It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. Survivor Twitter. Every time we ever bring up Survivor Twitter, we need to do some little disclaimer like Chase just did.
It's disgusting.
It's toxic. It's disgusting. It's Survivor Twitter.
You know it's bad when Survivor Reddit seems like the safe place. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, they're so nice over there all
What
the
an
time.
odd theory, though. I mean, they're like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, that's, I feel like at that point, people just want to hate her.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
straight hate.
People just drink that RFK juice, brother. They just hate
Yeah.
autism. All right.
It's got some pulp in it.
And Tito's. When I got in the studio, I showed Brand the mug, and I was like, I just brought it to have it.
I didn't think twice.
Brother, I took your word for it.
Well, dude, I knew because Petey kept talking in the chat last night about how he's gonna be drinking vodka from his Mary mug. I thought like maybe you already had some in there and we were just gonna keep it quiet, like Petey's drinking on the job. I didn't know it was gonna be a set piece. Okay, guys. What is very interesting about this fire making is Eva gets a huge lead. Camilla can't even get a flame going. But Eva gets her flame high enough for the rope, but the wind is blowing it away from the rope. This is exactly how Teeny lost fire making last season.
Yeah.
This
Also
causes
my player.
Yeah, also Kristen's player. Yeah.
I love Teeny.
Me as well. This causes Eva to start to panic and she is spiraling. She starts to cry. Her flame drops back down to being very, pardon the pun, teeny.
Very nice.
Everyone's trying to comfort her, like everyone, even Camilla, who says, girl, you're doing so much better than me, and girl, I can't even catch a flame. Frick. Yeah, frick. But I mean, honestly, it's not the most eventful fire making because very shortly after Eva's flame burns the rope and she is going to the final three, PD started begging God to kill everyone in Fiji as Camilla is sent to the jury.
As he takes a sip from his Mother Mary mug.
Dang, dude.
Petey was
that was
having
a-
like a Banu level meltdown.
He
I'm
was.
Sure.
Yeah.
He was.
Not a meltdown, more like a Survivor-induced depression.
It was like Chernobyl.
Now-
It was a
now,
meltdown.
I know, here's the question I have for PD now is, enough about what you think. What did your dad think of this moment? Because he was there too.
He could see that I was bummed. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that sucks," you know.
That's a good
And-
dad.
But like
Glad to hear
Eva's
it.
still on your team, right?
Eva is still on my team, but I had my heart set on a certain person. Okay,
but like, was there any part of you like after it happened, you were like, did you process at all like Eva's chances and ability to still win?
I did. I was like Eva's biggest cheerleader in this episode too, and I continue to be. But there was just this sadness that I could feel. You know.
Yeah.
Did Chase just have a sip of
the remaining Tito's? Dare me to drive.
Yeah, I do.
We're gonna get a Tito sponsorship next year. It's gonna crush.
So after the fire making challenge, Camilla was crying, and Jeff asked what the emotion was because in the middle of her challenge, while Camilla was failing, she still helped Eva.
Yeah.
And Camilla said, "I have this voice in my head that's always like, dude, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck." But there's this other voice in my head becoming louder and louder on Survivor as the days go on. Even if I sucked at fire, I'm proud of the game I played, and that's the best feeling in the world. And guys, I'll tell you this right now. I have zero regrets about drafting Camilla.
Good.
I had a lot of regrets about drafting Sue, but I have zero regrets about drafting Camilla. And because I think Camilla is one of the greatest players I've ever drafted. And if it just wasn't her night in the fire.
She is a great player. I mean, truthfully, like if she had been in the final 3, her and Kyle did play the same game. They talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it really could have gone to UPD.
And that's why I had a hard time accepting it. So
well, and the worst thing about it is everyone on the jury said that if Camilla was in the final 3, everyone would have voted for her.
Yeah.
Let's be real. I bet Camilla's brother wouldn't have made it as far as her. I'm going to go on the record.
We don't know that.
No.
He might have
that
won.
Dude's awesome,
what if she gets home from Fiji and they're like, he would have won?
We are not proud of you.
You got 4th?
Yeah.
So look, I was really sad, but I had to accept it. But I did do a little tribute to Camilla. So Bran, would you please fire up the Katy Perry?
Oh, wow.
Camilla, this one's for you. You're like a Guyanese summer in the middle of a winter, like a hard candy with a surprise center. How does the show get better once it's had the best? I said that I thought you were the greatest. How could you be out next? She burned the rope, your torch was snuffed. Jeff said, here's the final 3, and I've had enough. 'Cause when I watch them, I am thinking of you. Thinking of you. Camilla, what you would do if you were the one who was driving the bus and then reversing that bus. Oh, Camilla, you were the best.
I feel depressed.
It was almost too good again, PD.
I'm Stone Cold Eva Erickson from Survivor 48, and Autism 316 says I just voted your ass out.
Whoa! How could you do that to PD?
How could
Look,
you?
Bran checked out when his team lost, and now he's just chaotically hitting sound bites to make us
Guys, there's a
upset.
media board inside Riverside.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
All right. You want to know what's pitiful? I kind of tricked myself before the finale. Like, maybe Mitch has a chance. Like, there was a part of it I was like, Mitch could do it.
Instead of finishing the podcast, I'm gonna do it again. You're like a Guyanese summer in. Okay, no, we'll actually we'll get on this with this show, I guess.
That was beautiful, PD.
It was beautiful.
It was very beautiful, and honestly, you sang it just like Katy Perry.
Yeah.
With a surprise center.
Yes, surprise.
It was beautiful.
So we've got our final 3, and they all wake up on the final day, day 26. They all wake up on the final day.
Beautiful final day.
A boat comes.
The sunrises are great. The sunrises are real nice.
A boat comes and brings them some food, and Kyle says, "You never know what the jury's going to do." And then we get some intense, tight shots and sound bites from the jury.
Mm-hmm.
we got a nice close-up of Cedric where he just looked really intense. And this is where we get a little secret time. Eva tells everyone she's a genius. She's not just a hockey jock. She's got a PhD. She does research for the Navy. And then Kyle's like, hey, I'm a lawyer. And then Joe says, what the hell? I'm just a fire captain. That's what I am. So with that, it's time to go to the final tribal council. Our last visit to Igadeza. To the domes, everybody.
To the domes!
The power shifts to the jury. And I want to read everybody's question. But let's start with the Carolina Reaper.
What?
Because he has something he wants to say to us.
Uh-oh.
Silence. It is I, the Carolina Reaper, Cedric McFadden, back on Making the Merge. I take my jury duty very serious, even though I was around people who were not serious. We had a lot to unpack at Ponderosa, and there were decisions to be made. Game face is on. The bench was short, but it got longer. And so did trust.
Whoa, dude, we haven't heard from Demon Cedric in
Yeah,
forever.
And he just read us his Instagram posts.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I gotta be honest. I thought he said the was short.
I thought
Dude,
that's what he
I
said.
did.
Short.
I did 5 takes of that trying to make it not sound like that word, and that was the closest I got.
Wait, what do you mean you did this? Are you telling me that's
Oh,
actually...
I mean, Demon Cedric. So a boat came, and it was a beautiful boat on day 26. Anyway,
It was night. It was night in Fiji.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Beautiful
exist.
night.
It was nighttime.
So Shaheen tells Eva that she created a social bond. She insulated herself with the social game. And for somebody who's neurodivergent, people didn't see that coming for her. And then Chrissy butts in.
Chrissy is speaking.
Oh, where the heck
Wow,
is that?
Brandon. That every sound
And then
like...
Chrissy butts in.
It's good to hear it again.
Oh no, the Chrissy bot is back, baby. Chrissy says, "Yous guys are tight, obviously, but
guys.
only one of you can win the $1 million. So you got to go after each other at this point."
You guys.
I
love that
Yeah.
Chrissy still has not learned her lesson.
Chrissy said, "I don't understand. You know, is this where you betray each other? You're so tight, but only one of yous is gonna get the $1 million."
Whoa.
The last time.
And Eva said, "I don't think we have to betray each other. We're battling it out respectfully." And then Joe says, "I want to be clear. Let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
I did not want to address that issue at all this entire game. I wasn't going to leverage it against anybody." And then Joe said it was something that came up, and he felt like he needed to do it personally off to the side. And he said, "I'm not going to take direct jabs at her, but I'm going to try to win this game."
Spoiler alert, he does not try to win this game.
yeah, really, dude. What a twist on that. But I really respect how he kind of approached it.
Yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to take the bait that you're
Yes.
trying to like dangle out here in front of us to fight. Like, I'm
Chrissy
just trying
is
to be
fishing.
a good person.
It was just odd because it's like I feel like that was really what Chrissy thought. She was like, "This just makes sense. Like this is the next step, obviously.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
betray each other." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"No,
do
though.
something.
They
Fight."
can just like state the facts of how they played the game.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be this huge thing."
Yeah, and Eva was so good at explaining her game.
She did a really good job.
So
Well,
good.
she was good.
She fell into one
Until
trap that
the
we'll
trap.
get into, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But this was the final moment where I was still confident that Joe was going to win. He answered that. And I was like, okay, yeah, I see where this is going to go.
You also saw fake spoilers.
Hey, we don't need to get into that, brother. We don't need to get into it. I told you that in confidence.
Hey, man, Brandon's wet behind the ears.
Oh, what's that? Is it more moisture behind my ears? Yeah. So what? I
Yeah.
thought I had the season spoiled for me earlier in the season.
His ears
I
are
didn't.
drowning.
So Eva, yeah, I thought she was doing a really good job at explaining her game up to this point. Joe, that moment that we just talked about was like really one of the only things Joe got
That was
to
it.
say.
Dude, guys, I was floored at the fact that Joe didn't say anything to defend his game.
Well, I'm sure he did. They are there for a long time,
Yeah.
but
That's
the editors
true,
know
that's
who's
true.
the most important.
Yeah.
and that is Camilla.
Shut up.
Joe just kind of it was like that line, and then like a couple of times I'm just being like, "I'm just a fireman," and that was it. That's all Joe gave.
He was like, "My game speaks for itself." Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
let's hear from Star.
What?
Hello, beautiful trifling ass bitches. Congratulations on being at the last day of Survivor 26. I really want y'all to know that your families will be proud. I'm proud of you guys. Now to get started with my question, what I want to know is exactly what undercover moves, possible betrayals, or even secret moves that we don't know that you did. Tell me something to wow me, because my mind is not made up, and I honestly would like to know what is it that we don't know. Tell me something new.
Tell me something new.
What a great question too.
Yeah.
Star is awesome.
Star was so
My
cool,
biggest
man.
regret is taking Cedric over Star.
Good.
They both ended up losing, but
They did.
we still would have
but
rather
one
had
of
the
them
other.
was much more likable.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
lose. What?
I'm saying they both still lost, and still we had a favorite.
And
we
we
would have
also
rather
had to give PD his like all-female team, and I'm regretting
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah.
But Eva, the worst year for that. But Eva reveals
Yeah, women.
Eva reveals her. Shut up, Chase. Eva reveals her safety without power that she didn't even have to play. Kyle talked
Hey,
about.
where'd she keep it?
Where did she? I don't
She
know.
kept it in her Stone Cold vest.
Yeah,
Oh.
the best.
She pulled it out of one of the pouches, and I just thought it was so great.
Down and
I
down.
thought it was
Wow.
fantastic. She's like, "Hold on, everybody."
No one's checking the utilities. Yeah.
What?
That was actually like a huge flex, though, in front of the jury. Like, to just be
Dude,
like,
it
I had
was.
it, didn't use it. When she did that, I got really worried that she was going to win.
I was really hoping she would, but Kyle talked about being incarcerated when he
Dude,
was
yeah.
younger, and that he's a lawyer, and that he wants to help people just like him. And Chrissy's mind was blown, but then Eva said, "Let me blow your mind again, because I'm a hockey official. I'm super proud. But guys, I'm actually a genius, and I do Navy research. So take that, Kyle."
Dude, I think Joe was hurt when Eva
Yeah.
explained that she does research for the Navy, because he was like,
Yeah.
I've been taking care of you this whole time,
No,
and you're a genius.
But he was funny about it. He said, "I'm just a dumb fireman." Like, he was taking it in stride, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, I would have been
No,
upset.
no.
You should have been taking care of me.
Not to
I'm
jump
dumb.
too far ahead in this, but I was a little shocked.
Well, then don't.
Well, I guess I will jump a little ahead.
Hit
of it. How about
the
that?
music, Brand.
Hit it.
Stone Cold Eva Austin had the safety without power. What? Then she had the immunity idol. What? Then she had an advantage at the last tribal. What? Yeah.
Then Jonathan wants to jump ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump right now, guys, because here's what actually got me even more worried that Eva was gonna take it, which was when Star set up this beautiful question of like, tell me something I don't know. Kyle did not bring up the big move as his first argument, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you talking about being a lawyer? No one cares right now.
I was shocked. I was literally like, Kyle, you are being
I thought he wasn't
dumb.
going to say anything.
Well, and I don't like. What's the point of keeping a secret about your occupation? Which is the reason why it's not like why he kept it a secret is because people think he already has money. But they're deciding that now.
Right now.
The whole reason you kept it was a secret was for this moment.
And I don't know why he keeps thinking revealing he went to jail is a big what?
Yeah, dude, oh my goodness.
You know how many people we put in jail?
Yeah, that's
all
what
of
I'm saying.
Yeah, I have a cousin in jail right now. Let's give him the $1 million.
The thing that I'm jumping a little ahead on is the fact that Camilla basically had to tee him up and give him confirmation.
I'm not gonna lie, made it even better.
It did.
Maybe they had plans.
So do you want me to jump there then?
They might have planned
go ahead and
that,
jump to it, man. Jump to it. I'm ready to
All
talk
right, so
about
Mary asked what the jury's perception of everybody is, and if they're wrong, Eva talked about how she has a bigger role in the duo with Joe than people realize, and David said, "Hey, prove it." And this is where Eva falls into the trap because she brought up the Shaheen vote, and in Eva's mind, she got Shaheen out because he was trying to split up her and Joe. Camilla's eyes got real big because she knew what just happened, and she looked at Kyle and whispered, "I got you. I got you."
Yeah.
And then she alley-ooped it, and Kyle dunked it.
What a wing woman.
I told Jonathan that as crazy as that Shaheen move was, once it happened, I was like, this is the move that will get the jury to vote for Kyle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but he almost didn't even freaking talk about it. If Camilla hadn't just looked at him and been like, I'm going to do it, you need to do it.
We don't know that. He might have brought it up.
Maybe, but he didn't in the one question.
We had that
was
awesome
asked.
jail and lawyer stuff that he wanted to get in.
I mean, I'm glad things still went my way, but in that moment, I was like, dude.
I couldn't believe, though. Star was like, what's something sneaky that you did during the game that no one knows about? And he says, I'm a lawyer.
Well, his occupation. Dude. That's what he
Which
did.
that happens every season.
Yeah,
it was almost like he was still trying to protect a secret alliance. I don't know if y'all knew that was actually happening.
Yeah.
But there was a secret alliance. But it's like he was almost still trying to protect it.
Well,
but
dude,
she's
when he
already
said
on
it was
the
a secret,
jury.
when he revealed the secret alliance thing, people were like, "What?
Yeah,
I
was
told
awesome.
you! I told you!"
Yeah, the reveal on that was really. It was really.
It was a
When-
lot bigger of a reaction than Sue.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it happened, when it was announced, and the camera just pans over to David.
Yeah.
And like David's reaction was everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
speaking of David asked a knock-knock question. Or made a knock-knock joke.
Let me do it one more time.
Knock-knock question.
David has a knock-knock question.
Wait, can you
PD
restart
had too
that?
much Tito's.
I might have. Hey, Brand, could you cue up the knock-knock question?
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Who's there?
Not me. Good job, guys.
Yo, that was the most insane thing that has ever happened in Survivor.
I just want to make it abundantly clear what happened here. David decided I'm going to commit to a bit where I meow for 5 straight weeks. Where I meow for like 5 straight weeks.
Meowed.
And then I'm going to do all of that so I can do.
Hey, Brand, let me cut you off. Just explain the meow thing one more
I'm
time.
not going to. If you
Come
don't
on.
get it,
I'll explain it very quickly. Brand's so old, when he saw mewing, he thought it was meowing.
Yeah, and he was waiting for it.
hey, back off, everybody.
So our little mergies were like, he's mewing, and David and then Brand was like, whoa, when is he going to be a cat?
Bean?
Yeah.
Can I see a picture of Bean,
Can
please?
we also ask the question, what does his joke even mean?
That's what I was going to say.
had all that time.
He set all this up for, per my calculation, the worst knock-knock joke of all time.
The punchline is
Knock-knock. Who's there? Not me. Congratulations.
Yeah, but what does,
Because to make
what
the
does
joke,
not
you have to
mean?
be there.
What does not me even mean?
I think he wanted to be like, hey, I'm not actually upset.
No, he
Yeah.
meant I'm not at the finale. Like, I'm not in the final 3, right?
Even if he had looked at them as, hey,
Knock,
you know
knock.
what?
Who's there?
Who's there?
Not me. Good job, guys.
That's what I took it as. I'm not in the final 3. You guys are.
That makes a lot
That's a lot better.
Oh wow! I was
That's
the
a
only
lot
one who
better.
cryctogram the code on the
Yeah.
knock-knock question.
Yeah,
Dude,
the
it's layered,
cryptogram.
brother.
Could have been like knock knock. Who's there? Final three. Who? You.
Yeah.
You know that would have been at least something, right?
Let's run
Like,
it back, Jeff. Bring them all back
Dude,
there. Let's do it all over again.
The awkward silence when,
I
when
trimmed
he
it.
said
Yeah.
when he said knock knock and everyone just looked at each other and was like, who's there? And he goes, not me.
Yeah.
Listen to the confusion. I cut out some of the silence, but listen to the confusion.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Who's there?
Not me.
I'm like,
Those pauses are the confusion.
I'm like, is it possible to get a comedy stunt man to step in for someone when they're not really good at it?
Dude,
you know?
there's he's a Survivor legend now in my book
yeah,
because of
totally.
that. That was the dumbest thing that's ever been said in Survivor.
So the Survivor legend David asked him about challenges, and Kyle said the only thing people said to him about challenges was he had a bubble butt, so he needs to call up one of Cedric's friends and get that taken care of.
CBS HR is just like, oh boy, here we go.
Which Cedric was basically like,
Silence.
he did not like it.
No, he didn't laugh.
He did not
He
think it
couldn't
was
like
funny.
it at all.
And then
There's
Eva.
nothing funny about
He
the
hates
butts.
being the butt of a joke. You know?
It is a
Oh, Jonathan earns his keep.
That's right. I get another season, boys.
silence.
Sorry.
So Eva said, we watched Maria, who's an old woman, almost break the record. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's with the shots at Maria? I was trying to think back. I thought Maria was a challenge beast, kind of, compared to the other people in her season. She was buff.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
killed
that was
it.
weird. A lot of people upset about that. Very
Yeah.
upset. I don't get it. I think it's funny to make fun of people.
I don't know.
We know that, Chase.
It was weird to give a stray to Maria, though, because, like, who's thinking about... Well, I guess they just watched 46, so 46 is fresh in all their minds.
Dear
Okay.
Maria.
Well, I think there were a couple of things just in the tribal with just Eva, maybe with like the social awareness for conversation things that I think didn't contribute well for her. Like she started so strong, but then there was kind of the moment when Kyle was like, "Here's my story. I'm a lawyer. I was in jail," and she kind of just cut in and was like, I'm actually a genius, guys.
Yeah.
And then there was like this moment where she's like, Maria's old and I'm a challenge beast. And you're like, okay, I don't know that you're pumping the brakes maybe for this conversation.
No, but let's go to the votes.
Yeah.
1 vote Joe, 2 votes Eva, and 4 votes Kyle. Kyle is
That's
our
right.
champion.
And
guys, we've done it. This is our final recap of season 48.
Well, hold tight. Because I took 2 victory laps for this win. The first being that our team won. The second being that I predicted that there would be no 0 vote finalists.
Right.
So,
and it didn't happen for the first time in the new era, maybe?
Yeah.
I want to point out one big thing, and then we need to send it home.
Yeah.
Guys, Kyle's the only player we didn't have a running bit about this season, and he won.
Dang.
You know, I think the
Oh,
running
and my curse worked, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
the running
No,
bit
no,
with
no.
Kyle was dude needs to make a move, and I think we were wrong. Like he made to his credit, he made the one move, and in this particular season.
That was all
That's
you need.
all you needed.
I mean, we
you
had
needed
the
to do
bubble
one
butt
move.
right there. We could have had a running bit about the bubble butt, but we didn't.
But nobody mentioned that. It would have been us just objectifying him.
Yeah,
which
Which we know is on the table. If we
PD
do
loves
that.
doing about hockey legs.
Well,
with Eva.
Yeah. Whoa.
Look, if,
Those were her words earlier in the season.
yeah, she said it.
If only Kyle had mentioned the bubble butt earlier.
So, look,
Guys.
we do have to get out of here soon. But we have to get out of here. I just want to say thank you to everybody for listening and everybody who left a review and has enjoyed making the merge this season. Things have gotten crazy. We never thought that this many people would be listening to us. So
all
thank you.
18,000 of you guys.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
thanks for
It's
enjoying
Little
the chaos.
mergies, thank you. And I want to give a quick update from Bree, who was the person who asked us to stop yelling. They have since edited their review and said, I listened to the podcast where you discussed this comment, and I love you even more. Sorry for the complaint. I really love your work, and I'm a forever fan.
We're going to be watching old Survivor seasons in the off season. You can vote on our Patreon if you're one of our patrons. We're going to be doing that next couple weeks after we have a draft recap. We have a
Here it comes.
Yeah.
what else is left?
Here we go. You got it. No,
Yeah,
you got
you
it.
can do
Let's
it.
let him do it.
the-
Let Chase do it.
You guys will figure it out when it
We have
enters
a
your
draft
pod feed.
recap. We have a Mergy Award.
There it is.
Season 50 is coming out.
Season
we have
50s,
a bunch
we're
of
going to
stuff.
talk about that. All right, everybody, let's go.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Is it?
Oh,
Chalamet.
where's the end?
Yeah.
Jonathan.
I was going to say Brand should read Mary's review, but, we're out of time. We're out of time.
Big mistake. Awesome, guys.
You're about to hear some ads that help keep the lights on here in the old studio. Thanks for listening or don't listen. It's really up to you at this point. It's at the end of the show. I mean, you're listening to me. Hi. But here they come. I promise they're coming. Yep, here they are. Happy day.